In Google Analytics, we have charts like this, which show a breakdown of the total visits from the landing page to the first and second page that they visit. So it's basically just a decomposition of the total visits, the key metric. And it shows in this way the behavioral flow. Now, can we build something similar in Power BI? That's what we're going to explore in this video. All right, so we're going to build this visual, which shows a breakdown. Now, in our example, it's going to be a breakdown of the total budget. Now, you might think, that takes a lot of space. Yes, but this is a statement chart meant for maybe that executive report. It's simple, it's clear, and it's visually engaging. Now, yes, you're right. You could do something similar with a decomposition tree, but then it shows like this. And here it doesn't really show the magnitude vertically of the values assigned to the different departments and different teams. Now, so we are going to make it look like this. And we're going to do that with only native visuals. Now, maybe easier with custom visuals. However, I want to stick to the native features that are available in Power BI. And this will also give us a lot of flexibility in terms of adding extra features to the visual that we like. Okay, now to set this up, we can take different approaches. I'm going to show you the main one that I think is the easiest, but still requires quite a bit of work. So let's go over all of the steps that are required to set this up. Now we're going to start with a stacked column chart. And then from my budget table, I take the budget amount. Let's put that on the y-axis. And I want to have a breakdown by team. So team goes on legend. And I want to make sure that I'm taking the sum of budget. Perfect. Now, you might already say, well, isn't that all of the information that your main visual is also showing? Yes and no. Yes, we do have a breakdown, and here we could add some labels to it. However, it would not show me the total at the department level, because here we have different departments, and for each department, we have different teams. And I really want that split clearly visualized. Total, then by department, and then by team. Now, to make that happen, we're going to have 3 columns next to one another. And the way that we're going to achieve that is with a small helper table. So let's go to the data view. Now here you have the original budget table. Now in my case, it's a super small one, but it could also be a big table. And what we're going to do next is we take this table and we add it 3 times underneath each other. 1 time for each column. Of course, if you have a large budget table, you want to take a summarized version of that. Okay, now, how would that work? We're gonna go over here to new table, and this one we're gonna call steps chart. All right, and let me just copy over the code that we need here. All right, so you see we use a select columns function to take the department column, the team column, the budget amount column, and the team sort. Okay, now that table I multiply 3 times and basically append them using a union function. Now, also important, here I added a column, step 1, step 2, step 3. Now, this gives us this small table over here. Now, then we can go back to the report view, and instead of taking the team and the sum of budget from that original table, we're going to replace them with the new summary table steps chart. All right, let's open it up. And here I want to have the team. And then for the sum of budget, we have to first create a separate measure that will be important for later. Now let's call this measure budget chart, which is going to take the sum of the budget amount column in our steps chart table, which is this one over here. And that's the measure we can then use on the y-axis. All right, so now the next thing is that we want to have 3 columns like this. So I'm going to take the step field and drag it onto the y-axis. Okay, so now we have that same column breakdown 3 times. Now we need to clean it up. So I go here to formatting, and I basically get rid of everything, like the x-axis can go away, and then also here for the y-axis, let's turn off the values and title as well. And then here the legend we also don't really need. We will have data labels later. And then for the title, let's just stick to budget for now. And of course, add a little bit of padding. Good, so now I want to have a flow. Now for that, we have ribbons. So here you see we have one formatting element, ribbons. Turn it on, then play around a little bit with the transparency. So maybe increase it a little bit, and then for the columns, select all series. There for layout, I want to have a bit more space. So I drag this up, let's say until 50%. So now it more looks like a piece of art than a real visual. So let's make it actually useful. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is add a little bit of space between the different departments, because here we have different teams, and then these three teams together form the HR department. And then we have some IT teams, right, that together form the IT department and marketing. Okay, now how can we now add a little bit of space in between these separate parts? Now, for that, we need to go back to that helper table. And we basically need to add these items. Now, let me show you how to do that. I'm going to go back here to the data view, go back to that steps chart table. All right. And now I'm going to slightly adjust the code here so that we add items for these spaces where I want to visualize later on the data labels. Now, let me show you what I mean. For example, for that second pillar, I go here and I'm going to take the union of what is already there, this, and then here we can build another table with the curly brackets, just like this. And then for each row that we're going to add, we can use normal brackets like this. Now, this is going to be a row for step 2, so 2. And then we need the department. Now, here we're going to leave the department blank. Now, it will become clear why a bit later. So quotation mark, and then for the team, we fill out HR. Now, this will help us later with the calculation. If you think I mixed it up, no. It is supposed to be like this. All right. And then we need the fourth one, which is going to be the budget amount, which is basically the space that we will have later. So we can go for a fixed amount. So let's say 2 million. However, probably it's better if we create a space measure for it so that it becomes later on easier to adapt if we need a little bit more space. Okay, for now, just 2 million. And then the team sort, this will be important. Now here, where do we want this to be? Well, we have 3 HR departments, so this needs to be in the 4th position or between 3 and 4. So I probably would just go for 3.5, right? To get it into the right place later on when we do a sorting by team, all right? So then we can close the brackets and we repeat the same thing for the IT department and marketing department. And there you go. Now we have also the other departments. Plus, you see, I replaced that fixed value with a measure that calculates the space in between dynamically, which I will show you in a second. All right. So let me indent this, close that union function, a comma to go there to the 3rd pillar. All right. Now, before we're going to do it for the 3rd one and the 1st one, let's see first if this works. Now in the table, you see we have here team, HR, IT, marketing, blank in the department column, and then here that same budget amount value, which is just the amount of blank space that we will have, dynamically calculated as follows. It takes the budget and divides it by 4, something that we can easily adjust later. All right, now I'm gonna go here to my visualization, and yeah, that looks interesting, a little bit weird. However, it will start to make sense once we adjust the sorting order, because if we now say sort legend by team, all right, and then we change that to ascending. All right, that's not much better because I forgot one important step, and that is that the team is still not sorted by the team sort ID. So let's take the team field, sort by column, and select team sort. All right, that is better. How is this better? Well, let me show you, because now we have these pieces in between, and those we can make white. So if you now go here to columns, then here you see we have the departments, HR, IT, and marketing. And so if I select here HR, that one is going to be white. And then we do the same for IT, that one is going to be white as well. And then we're going to have one for marketing, it's going to be white. All right. So you see how it's splitting the different parts. And now we can do the same thing there for the 3rd column. So let's go back to our table and let me do the same thing here for the 3rd column. And for the first one, we need the totals there. All right. Now there you go. You see, here's the total. And then for the 3rd column, here we have all of the different teams which get their own value placeholder basically. Okay, now if I go back here to the report view, and this probably still looks a bit abstract, so we just have to adjust the colors so that the value placeholders are white. Now, you will always see that here for the naming I chosen in such a way that it looks the same. However, here the trick is I have recruitment and I have recruitment space. So that it still shows as a separate item and doesn't try to add them up under the same thing. That's important, right? So that we have here for each team, basically 2 items. Now, just to make sure that you get that last point, you see I have here recruitment space, training space, because I want it as a separate space above training and above recruitment. Okay, so if I go back to the report and then go to formatting columns, I always need the second one with the space, and those I make white. All right, cool, we're getting somewhere. And now I want to clean it up a little bit with the colors. This is a bit too colorful, if you ask me. So I go here to columns, and then you see we have here recruitment, the main one, and then I just pick, let's say, that bluish color over there, and then we can continue with training and go a little bit lighter, and then we have payroll, which is also HR, and we go for the lightest one, and then we do the same thing for IT and marketing. All right, we are ready for the next step, which is going to be the labels. Now, let me just stretch it vertically a little bit more so that we have more space to work with. Now, to get the data labels in, you might think, oh, it's going to be easy, right? We can go over here to formatting, data labels on. Now we have data labels for every section like this, but I want it to show above it, right? So I go here to data labels, and the first thing that I notice is, well, no labels are popping up there for the white ones, and that's because of a bug in Power BI. And so here we have to change the color to gray. Now you see it. I want to have the title and value everywhere. I want the values and title to be a little bit smaller, right? And then for the title, let's also make it bold. Now, if we then go to options, there the label density, I would put to 100%. Maybe also overflow the text. And I see the titles for the empty spaces are not showing. So let's go back to title and do the same thing over here. Perfect. Good. Now, a lot of the labels we actually don't need. So for the ones that we don't need, meaning the individual items here, for example, recruitment, I'm going to turn it off. The ones that I keep are always the second ones, the white ones, the one with the space. All right, so I'm going to toggle them off one by one. And now we are left with the labels that we want to show. Okay, now we're not there though, because now you have a look at these values and you probably notice they're all the same. They're all showing the actual value of the space. Now, and what is that calculated by? Well, we have here our space measures. Do you see? Budget total divided by 4. For the third one, I did division by 8, and for the first one, I divided by 2. All right. Now, how can we make sure that these data labels over here show the actual values? Now, first of all, let me just quickly change the positioning so that it's always inside base, so right above it. And we want to do that for all of them. So over here, first select all, position inside base. Now this is actually a really tricky one, more tricky than you expect it to be, because you probably are thinking, we can just go here to data labels, and then for example for HR, if you go there, then you go to value and you can choose any field that you like to calculate the value that you need here. It's grayed out. And the reason why it's grayed out is because we're using a field on the legend. All right, so how can we work our way around this? This is an interesting workaround, if you ask me. Now, so I go here to the main measure that we are using, the budget measure, all right? And then here we're going to make use of dynamic formatting. All right, now here we can basically use any measure to set the formatting. So what it expects usually is a formatting code. However, we are going to not return a formatting code really, but the value that we want to show. Now, we have a formula. So let me paste in the formula. All right, now what is going on here? So first of all, I want to see, okay, which department? So department, selected value, steps chart, team, not the department column. Department column is blank. I want to take it from the team column where I put HR. Okay, good. Then we go to the value. Now, how can we calculate the value? We use a calculate function, calculate budget, but we remove the filter first from all of the teams, okay, including the sorting column, that one you cannot forget. And then we put in a filter on the department, the corresponding department. All right, so over here, we then have the filter based on the department column, which will work because we have a blank in the department column for the placeholder. Otherwise, you would always end up with a too large value. That's why we kept it blank in the first place. Now, And then we wrap this inside of a formatting function, okay? And that returns the value that we want to have for HR. And then we return for HR that value. And then this will also work with IT and marketing, because it figures out the department there at the beginning. All right, now let's see what happens when we use this format. Now, looks a bit weird, right? So over here we get value and then because it tries to interpret it, use it as a formatting code, as a formatting string. So this is not going to work. And now the trick comes. If we now go back to the dynamic formatting measure, what you can do to return the actual value is this. You just put in quotes, double quotes, and then you combine that with the actual value that you want to return. So you kind of trick Power BI in this way. And ta-da, we have here 3 million, 3.7, 2.8, the correct values that I want to see. Nice. And now we just have to do this also for that third level and the first level. All right, so I'm just going to go back to this measure and just update it. So here I just repeated the same logic a few times. Here for the total department we already had, and then over here for the team, there I also added this extra space at the end as to figure out the corresponding team. I just removed the last character, that space, and then use it as a filter there. All right, and then over here the switch updated with those extra items. All right, the logic is exactly the same though. Now, if I then go back to our visualization, ta-da, it nicely works. Here in the first column, we have the overall total, the 9.5 million, which then gets broken down into the different departments, which then get further broken down into the separate teams. I think this is a very visually engaging visual. It goes a little bit in that Sankey direction, right? But it takes quite a bit of space. So it's really like a statement chart. And that's how it should be used. Now, if you think, yeah, but I can just go for one column or one donut chart, yeah, yes and no, right? Because that would not visualize very well these separate aggregations at the department and team level. And also, think back at Google Analytics, there you could create that whole page visit flow nicely in such a way. Now, another thing that I want to highlight is that you could set up this chart in different ways. We could also, instead of going for a separate helper table, could also work with just measures or visual calculations. However, I think that is even more work. Let me show you. So here I have that same chart. It's just I also added a little bit of space here at the bottom to make it even nicer, I think. And this one is built with just visual calculations and measures. Now, if I go here to the builds panel, then you see a lot of measures. And now visual calculations are kind of a nice application here because then you don't need that whole bunch of helper measures, right? It's just for this visual. But if I go there, then you see also here we have a similar logic with the spaces and also the values that we then show on these placeholders for the space. And here, if I open one of these visual calculations, then I'm just checking, okay, which step, which column are we looking at? Step 3, then add the step 3 space. Now this, of course, also works. However, I thought that the table approach is a little bit quicker, nicer, and easier to maintain. Although, I agree, still a lot of work. Now, let me know, do you like this visual? Is there something that you would actually use? Or you think, oh, not for me, this is too much effort, and it sounds like a nightmare. Let me know in the comment section below. If you want to build reports together with me from beginning to end, learn all of my tips and tricks of how to build really good solid reports and have a really solid design system, then check out my training over here. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.